Right, it's been a little while since I did a video. It's been quite busy actually. I've had a few bits to do, which is good because that helps me a little bit. And that's kind of what I was wanting to talk about today because I'm one of those people who needs to distract myself when it comes to anxiety and stuff like that. I think that I tend to cope better when I've got stuff to do than when I don't. Um, that's not to say that I always want to do things. A lot of the times I don't want to do anything. Um, I do because I think that I need to get out there and do things and push myself a little bit if you know what I mean. But I do find that when I do have something, I feel better in myself. I really do. But for me, there's a tipping point where I can do stuff and it will occupy my mind and it will keep my mind active and anxiety and thoughts won't come into my mind. But if I get to the point where I'm too busy, my stress level goes up because I'm too busy, and so then it has a kind of counterproductive effect. Um, and that is very interesting for me because sometimes I'll be busy, not too busy that I'm worrying about it or get stressed out, but I'm just busy, and everything's fine. And then I'll stop because whatever it is I'm doing is finished, and then I'll feel my anxiety creeping back in again, and it gets to the point where and eventually I came up with this link in my mind. I was thinking, well, every time I stop doing what I'm doing and stop being busy, my anxiety creeps back in. I think it's because I fill my head with so many things I'm doing. There's no room for it in there. That's my own analogy. um, there's no time for my brain to be thinking about bad things or anxiety or whatever. There's no room for the anxiety to come in, and I thought that was quite an interesting thing. So let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear if you have a similar situation. If you find that when you're busy, it helps you, and you get, you can go for 2 or 3 days without having any problems. Um, that's happened to me in the past. But at the same time, if it gets to the point where I'm too busy and I find that I'm stretched for time, I don't have time to fit everything in that I need to do, and things start to pile up, that's a negative effect on me because then I start to stress and I start to get anxiety because there's too much going on. So for me, I'm trying to find this balance between having stuff to do and not having too much to do, and I think that's something everyone can learn. Not only if you have an anxiety issue or if you have some kind of mental health problem that you need to deal with, but also I think in general, I think we need to find this balance in life between being happy and being fulfilled and being engaged, but also not being too busy that you start to think negatively. And that's something I've been trying to do for quite a while now, and it's not always easy to do because, like I said, there are lots of times when I won't want to do anything, and I'll just be like, I don't really want to go out of the house today, or I don't really want to go to that thing that I was thinking about going to today because I just really don't have the energy for it. I don't have the. It's not necessarily a physical thing, although sometimes it does manifest itself that way. It's more of an emotional thing. I don't have the emotional energy to commit to that. Especially if there's going to be a lot of people there. That can take a lot out of me, and that's really really hard for me to get my head around sometimes. That it's not always the fact that you're tired or the fact that you don't have the energy to do it. Sometimes it's just the mental energy that I don't have, and especially if I've had a couple of days where I've had to do social things, I get really really to the point where my mind just can't cope with it anymore. Um, so that's where I am at the moment, trying to find this balance between being busy and being overwhelmed. And I'm hoping I can find a good balance for that because that would be really, I think that would be one of the things that would help me the most. Um, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, if you're having the same kind of struggle as me, let me know how it's going with you because I'd love to hear how you're working with it and if you've managed to succeed in finding this balance that I'm still trying to find myself. Um, but yeah, hopefully I can find it. But thank you for watching, and I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who watches and comments and things like that. It's really really good. I'm trying to get get things out there, you know, not just for mental health in general, but for men as well, because men don't talk enough about these things. So that's what I'm trying to do. So thank you for watching.